Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I'm going to share with you perspective from a few XRP chart analysts in this latest Moon Lambo hot jam, including one who says, as it pertains to XRP, and this is a quote, "This will only end one way." And I'll just tell you at the outset here, he's meaning that in a very positive way. And there's sound reason for this. My gosh, XRP has never been so primed in the last 7 years, with the exception of the tail end of 2017, beginning 2018 when it hit its all-time high. But since then, XRP has never been so perfectly primed. I mean, find an unbiased chart analyst who disagree with that. It's very difficult, and it's got the legal clarity. We are in a bull market still. I know September historically not very fun. I've been talking about that a lot lately. And frankly, I'm looking forward to just getting September over with so we can all go back to party mode and have a lot more fun in Q4, because I have a very strong suspicion that things are about to pick up. And I hope that you can fully appreciate the fact that you are so early jumping into crypto and holding XRP in 2024, because, I can only imagine another 10, 15, 20 years from now, if you tell people that you held XRP for 53 cents, that's what the market rate is right now anyway, people will be like, oh my God, how did you do? I mean, if XRP is truly going to be long-term viable, it's not just going to be fluttering around this price range. So if you tell people that 10, 15, 20 years from now, I can only imagine how big the entire crypto asset class is going to be, and whatever percentage of that XRP has. In terms of dollars, I can only imagine how much more that's going to be than what we're seeing right now. And it's the same thing as, with the early Bitcoiners. They jumped in, and if you talk to somebody that was in Bitcoin in like 2011, 2012, 2013, like, oh my God, what must that have been like? Well, see, the cool thing is there's so little money in XRP right now, because there's so little money in crypto, broadly speaking, that we still have those opportunities, even for a large cap coin like XRP. I mean, you're talking about for the asset class. The market cap's actually now just dipped a little under $2 trillion. That's almost nothing. That is a tiny, minuscule little asset class for ants. That's how small this thing is. There is so much damn opportunity here. And so even though September's not been great price-wise, I understand that we were supposed to expect that. So that doesn't hit me in the feels, doesn't change anything for my optimism. And I hope you guys are feeling pretty great about this as well. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And so there's this post from Bobby A that kind of resonated with me, and I thought I'd share this with you. He says, many will look back and kick themselves for not using this time to accumulate more coins. Think big picture, not hour to hour or day to day. In the grand scheme of things, Bitcoin is nearing the end of this period of consolidation, and altcoins are finishing their wave 2 corrective phases. Fear and skepticism are rampant. X is a toxic ghost town, and endangered blabbermouth bears are again emerging from their hibernation caves. Pay attention, I smell opportunity. And I will tell you from personal experience that when the sentiment is this piss poor, it does tend to represent an actual opportunity for those who want to increase their exposure. Because the typical lemming retail speculators, they consistently get wrong-footed because they make important financial decisions based on emotions rather than logic and data and reason. And truthfully, the best thing, this is just my opinion, but there's data to back it, the best thing an investor can do, a typical person, like a regular guy like me, because I'm not trying to be some master of the markets. I just want to be regular and not screw myself over, because too many people, when it comes to investing, we are our own worst enemies. You got to come to peace with that. And so that's why I say the best approach for regular people like myself, and again, most people, is to simply buy stuff and then not do anything. There's no shortage of proof that this works in the stock market. We're the same humans with the same DNA, with the same tendency to get scared when it comes to crypto. But with crypto, it's even worse because it's the most volatile asset class on the planet. So to safeguard oneself, and this is what I do for myself, is I literally just buy stuff and then whatever happens, happens. I let time pass, and wouldn't you know it, having been in the space now after almost 7 years, it's worth way more than what I put in, except for some of the newer stuff that I bought more recently. Some of that stuff is down, but that's not surprising. Just like for the first portion of the years, like the first few years I held XRP, it was down, or around break even for most of the time. But that was true for a long period, even for my Bitcoin and ETH. We were in a bear market and I was buying stuff, so that shouldn't be surprising. Anytime you just buy something, especially if you're getting to that point where maybe you're a couple years away from when you can expect the next bull cycle, sure, you're going to be down. And people have a really hard time putting in real money and then going sideways or being down for like a couple years before the market picks back up. But that's why I say dollar cost averaging. It just makes sense. Understand what you're doing, understand the market's cyclical, and there's just incredible opportunity in this. And on top of that, and I think this kind of helps to paint the picture that agree to which we are early and how things are changing. There's this post from chart analyst Income Sharks, and he said, over the next 10 years, we'll see trillions of dollars be inherited, and people won't be using traditional banks to invest. They will use apps like Robinhood. There's a massive shift towards self-custody, and the days of paying a financial advisor are limited with AI assistance. Well, getting into artificial intelligence, that's far outside the scope of this video. What industry is not going to be rocked by that? Or maybe you could find some, but like, it seems like just about everything is going to be rocked by that. But setting that aside, because it's too far outside the scope of this video, I do think it's true that increasingly, and we've seen this with younger generations, there is a strong interest in apps like Robinhood. That's true, fair enough. But that's not going to be the end-all be-all, because obviously, that's not self-custody. And there is a shift towards self-custody to a certain degree, but there will always be people that want a centralized entity to be responsible for their holdings, so that if something gets hacked or goes wrong, they know that they're insured or whatever the case may be. And so if something goes wrong, they know that they're going to be made whole. And that's certain. We don't have a proper setup for that now. And I don't know exactly what that's going to look like in the future, but I do know there's always going to be some sort of desire specifically for that. But either way, the point is, yes, banks are in trouble, very obviously. And it's not that they're going to go away. There's always going to be centralized lending. We're just seeing an adjustment. But those banks that do succeed, the ones that succeed are the ones that are going to adjust their business model to meet the demands of today. It's a shifting environment. It's just, you have to adapt in any industry, right? Things are always changing here. But here you are in the earliest of days. I mean, the asset class has only existed for 15 years. And so to help paint this picture further as it pertains specifically to XRP, we have this. There's this post from chart analyst The Great Matsby. It's an XRP USD chart. And he wrote, XRP monthly Bollinger Bands continue to squeeze month after month. Way, way tighter than 2017. This will only end one way. ... rocket emoji. And so this is something that I've been following since it started being more widely discussed in the XRP community as of, I think it was April of this year. In Bollinger Bands, it shows a tightening range here, obviously. And what this indicates is not technically directionally what happens. It doesn't say whether this thing's going to go burst to the upside or the downside, but the tighter Bollinger Bands get, the more explosive the move. And so it does indicate that something's going to happen. And so given that we're in a bull market, it is most reasonable to assume that it would be to the upside. And I've seen other analysts out there point out not only that, if you look at the moving average, it's actually trending to the upside as well. And in 2017, when that was the previous tightest point in history for Bollinger Bands on XRP, massive move to the upside. I mean, that move is so famous, everybody in the XRP community is obviously well aware, unless you're literally brand new. Massive move from the bottom to the top of that market cycle of about 80,000% literally. And now we're at a point where the Bollinger Bands are even tighter. And so I love continually updating you on the progression of this, because they were the tightest in history in April, and then month after month after month, tighter and tighter and tighter. When this thing goes, it's going to go. So if you are a bear and you think the whole market's going to move to the downside, then presumably XRP would fall, in which case, fine, be scared and be terrified if you want. I don't think that's what's most probable. That's not what I'm counting on occurring. I think we're going to see a revival in terms of price action come Q4, and XRP is going to be a part of it. It has been consolidating for way too long. It is not going to stay here forever. I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell it's just going to be fluttering around here forever. No, nothing ranges forever. Nothing does. Eventually there's going to be changes. There's going to be breaks in markets. Absolutely. This is an exciting time to be in crypto. So I understand that in September, everybody's feeling down, everybody's feeling sad, but doesn't actually make sense. If you just look at the data and historic precedent, that should, I just don't see how it couldn't lead you to believe that what's most probable is a notable resurgence before this year's out. And it's not a certainty, and I'm not making a price prediction, but I'm just saying that is normally what happens in crypto, and it's normally what happens in the stock market, and these asset classes move together. Why wouldn't you think that's what's most probable? Then there's also this. There's a response to that, and somebody said, good time to accumulate now. And the great Matsby said, it's been a good time for a long time, in my opinion. As long as support holds, I can only see upside in the future. And so the reason I wanted to highlight that particular quote, it goes back to what I was saying earlier in the video. We are so lucky to have this opportunity to get a piece of this asset class when it's tiny. It is minuscule. Eventually, this asset class, it'll go from its current state of less than $2 trillion to $10 trillion, and then tens of trillions of dollars, and I won't be surprised to see it over $100 trillion at some point in the future. It's a tiny thing. And so even if you're talking about it going to 10 trillion, that doesn't mean if you invest in something you only get a 5-fold increase. Don't forget that Bitcoin takes up half of that, and the real opportunity is in the altcoins. XRP is number 7 out of tens of thousands of coins in market cap. It only has a $30 billion market cap. ETH has 275 billion. Bitcoin, again, over 1 trillion. That's why it's so exciting with even tried and true coins, which I think it's fair to have more confidence in the ones that have shown staying power. But even those ones in the top 10, there's almost no money in them because it's a baby asset class. It's just crazy because, you look at large cap stocks, you invest in a large cap stock, you're probably not going to get a whole bunch of wild volatility. Broadly speaking, these are the tried and true companies. If you want to add some pepper on your investments, then you get into the smaller cap stocks, perhaps. Maybe get into the Russell 2000, right? Sure. But that's why this is so incredible. Even the large caps can result in life-changing wealth. That's just not going to be true if you fast forward a couple decades. It's just a crazy time to actually be in all of this here. And then there's also this post from a chart analyst, Crypto Michael. He shared an XRP BTC chart, and he wrote, XRP BTC looks ready for a huge squeeze. I won't be surprised to see that. So most analysts that I follow that cover XRP are pretty confident at this point that the bottom for XRP priced against Bitcoin is in, and that would have been on June 7th of this year. Ever since then, it has been moving up against Bitcoin, notably, and XRP has been substantially outperforming almost all other top 100 coins for like months now, literally 3 months. It's truly astonishing. This looks like the turnaround point, and there's a turnaround point in every single market cycle. So even if analysts are incorrect and there is one more low, which I'm kind of skeptical of, but even if that happens, the market always finds a bottom anyway. There are all sorts of people that were calling for bottoms along the way the last market cycle, and if it wasn't, it went down again, and then it went down again, but then eventually there was one, and then XRP did move to the upside. And it had a 20-fold increase last market cycle despite the SEC attacking. XRP went from 10 cents to $2 with an SEC attack. That's a crazy fact, right? And so here we see, and this is just data, XRP breaking out against Bitcoin has been for months. But we're at a point now where he's seemingly thinking that we're going to see something a bit more notable. And then there's also this is from chart analyst Dr. Magic. He priced XRP against ETH, and he said XRP ETH looks solid for continuation too, which is interesting, especially considering the historical nature of how certainly back in like the 2017 era, how XRP and ETH were jockeying for position for that number 2 spot. And there were a few times where XRP actually was number 2 in terms of market cap here. But do you really think ETH's going to perform better than XRP this market cycle? I would be shocked if that's the case. Wouldn't you? Because it's just been consolidated. It's been, because here's the thing. This is what always happens in market. If there's something that's valuable, like XRP obviously is, and if XRP is truly going to be long-term viable, if you have a situation where there's a misalignment in terms of value, the market does eventually figure that out, even if it takes a long time. The market's like, wait a minute, it's doing what? It's adopted, and then people start putting money in. And then eventually more people start to take notice. That's moving, there's more volume. That's interesting. What's going on over there? And then when you hit euphoria, then it's just a bunch of idiots with money that don't know a damn thing about it. They see green candles and they're like, take my money. It's just how retailers act. It's not like XRP does that to people. It's just, it could be Bitcoin, it could be ETH, it could be, just pick your coin, it doesn't matter. But it's fascinating to see that XRP continues to tick up there too, because ETH is considered one of the golden boys, right? Well, you guys tell me what you think, but despite what's happening in September and everybody being scared out of their damn minds, I could not possibly be more excited as an XRP holder than I am now. I am sufficiently positioned, and I have been for many years. And I just, again, if the market's going to go, I don't see how it's reasonable to suppose that XRP wouldn't take part of that. What XRP's expect? No, I'm just going to sit over here. I'm sitting on the sidelines. I don't want to go this time. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make, and consolidating this long. So anyway, like I'm out there too. I know that a lot of you are also on social media platform X, because that's where the XRP community lives, basically. I see the sentiment, and it's not unique to the XRP community. Like, everybody in crypto seems to be beaten down. This does not seem to me to be the time to be beaten down. This seems to be the time to just understand we should expect a crappy September because, duh, it's September, and we're in a bull market, though. This would be, like, what follows should be incredibly exciting. So you guys let me know what you think, but I think by the time this bull cycle's over, we will be more than a little bit happy. I would be shocked if everything's going to take off. I would be very surprised if XRP doesn't hit a new all-time high in enterprise discovery. That would be wild and unexpected to me. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.